Hello and welcome to the Bel-E and Scratch podcast. I'm your host, Bel-E.
And I am your co-host, Scratch.
And today, oh boy, I think we finally have a subject for today, at least to start with.
Subject?
Yeah, we don't have to meander for about, an hour before we get to the point. Because we tend to do that. Yeah, old man. Anyway. Well, you know how Michael Corleone in the third Godfather movie?
Oh, that's awful.
Shh. You shut your ass up. Let me have a thing. You know, in the third Godfather, which no one has watched, no one should watch, the one good line from that entire movie,
Correct.
It was something like, I keep trying to get out, but they keep pulling me back in.
Yep.
That relates to today's subject.
It's like gum stuck to the bottom of your shoe.
Yeah. Except the gum mysteriously keeps regenerating day after day after day.
Apparently.
It is inescapable.
Yeah.
Now, several weeks ago, I don't know if we talked about it in real life or on a podcast, but just to recap, I lost my fucking mind when I watched the Hannibal TV show with Mads.
Yes.
McKilson. I'm just gonna say it like that, even though it's wrong, but whatever. So, I lost my damn mind because that show was batshit insane.
Right.
And then I mentioned, they're coming out with a new show called Clarice. It's from Clarice's point of view.
Yep.
Takes place almost immediately after the Buffalo Bill incident, Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, like a year.
Yeah, a year later. And I said the trailer for the show looked boring as fuck. And it did.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, please, just for the love of God, make sure this doesn't suck. Because me and my boss at work, obviously, we looked up the IMDb page for Clarice, like their first season, because there's only one season, and there was no one accredited as Hannibal Lecter. He wasn't even in the cast of characters at all.
Right.
And I'm just like, how do you have a Hannibal Lecter in-universe concept, but you don't have him?
Well, I mean, it's like it's like DC without Superman. I mean, they're the
here's the thing with DC.
It's the foundational character for the whole genre.
I get it, but here's the thing. At least with DC and/or Marvel, they at least have a multitude of characters to carry their own stories.
Yes.
Whereas with this Lecter series, it's basically just him and Will
like
Graham, kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess Clarice in this instance. But anyway, so I guess the first episode premiered today, and I didn't watch it because I didn't care. You saw it.
Clarice?
Yeah, you just didn't watch it.
I watched the first episode.
Yeah, episode.
I don't know when the premiere, quote unquote, premiere was.
Oh, okay. But you basically just caught the episode.
Yeah. Well, I saw a couple of different versions of the trailer.
Yeah.
And I kept waiting for, my original, it wasn't that the original trailer didn't pique my interest enough to take a look at it.
Yeah.
Because if something's shot really well,
I
can tolerate a weak story if it looks good. At least through the pilot,
Through the pilot,
you got to be really. I mean, it's got to be really bad. Give me one or the other. Give me a great story and terrible cinematography and the way it's shot. Give me something.
Yeah, I was about to say, please don't make me get you started on Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Give me something. But so I watched a couple of different trailers and I was like, and then you basically I'm beginning to see this. Well, I guess it's the theme with all media. You begin to re-watch stuff that you are very familiar with, and it's your favorites. But it was just something a little different, and I thought, hey, what the heck? Because I tried to check something out that was no, this is a good dynamic.
Okay.
All right, here we go. All right, the current streaming services.
The current main ones.
The big three. I don't know what.
Netflix, Hulu, Prime. Yeah. HBO Max is trying to muscle in, and Disney Plus is trying to do it too, but ultimately.
So I tuned into something that was the first episode of an original series on one of the streaming services.
Yeah.
And then I was face to face with a matter that was a little more serious than the graphic, a scene that was a little more, it was a little early in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, that's kind of intense.
No, I get
9:37 in the morning. I don't think I want to watch that right now.
I get it.
So knowing that the service that is carrying Clarice is kind of a step down. Not in quality, but in
not in what the fuck was that?
Not in,
it's lower intensity.
It's a little lower intensity.
Fair enough.
Which adds to I would imagine better writing.
I would hope so.
You're gonna need that. You're gonna need something.
Yeah.
So no, that was kind of why I was like, ooh, that's really intense. I really don't watch that while I eat my breakfast. So I switched it over to that, and I thought, it's on the CBS streaming services.
Whatever.
So that's a TV network. So there's only so far they're going to go, and I was like, I'll check that out.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, watched it this morning. Have a better opinion of it.
I'm going to assume that it wasn't boring as I predicted.
No, it wasn't, and here's why. Because they expand. First of all, the only way you can see the story before you watch it is in context of the movie, right?
Clearly.
Clearly, and all the other
and the books
and the series and things like that.
Yeah.
Basically, what they did was expand on her character, find that relatability. Things that you kind of were wondering about.
Yeah.
They kind of filled in some blanks on her and then ran with that.
I can appreciate that.
So, they present her as a little more. They present her a little more neurotic than I was expecting, but not in a nervous, "Hey, you're getting on my nerves" kind of way.
Just in a, oh Jesus, I just survived this horrifying encounter kind of way.
Yeah.
I can live with that
and then she's dealing with exactly. She's like a trainee.
Yeah.
So she wasn't she was a seasoned, hardened,
some
grizzled veteran.
Yeah, some tobacco chewing, gunslinging motherfucker.
She's just an innocent girl from the country.
Yeah, she was in context of Silence of the Lambs, she was like a trainee. Her first assignment was basically being sent directly into the lion's den with Lecter to go hunt some other person.
Lion's mouth.
Yeah, directly into the lion's mouth, and it's like, dude, this chick just graduated the academy.
And so we're all familiar, and so that was a good spot for them to jump off.
That's fair.
So obviously anyone could relate to the idea or the suggestion that she is having a difficult time dealing with that.
Yeah, because Silence of the Lambs, it was a harrowing experience.
So the series plays on that.
I can appreciate that.
And it shows her as any almost like imagine a combat veteran coming home and they just spent a tour over in a very active war zone.
She's got PTSD.
She's got
PTSD. Whatnot?
Yeah, exactly. So they're exploring that, and then they're also, and then based on that, because I think that's the through line. Then there's these other side characters that come into play.
Yeah.
Her the department psychologist, the boss, obviously played by three-piece suit and tie wearing white men. And but there's real. I mean, obviously there is a suggestion that these overbearing guys, but they don't really play up the. Yes, it's an older white male yelling at her.
Of course,
but they don't focus on that. There's no elements of the exchange that I saw or the dialogue that I heard.
Yeah.
That would make me think that there was any pandering going on.
Yeah, that was my other biggest thing was like, please don't pander.
They were pushing the. I question you based on the fact that you experienced this as a trainee.
Yeah.
Not because you're a woman and you just can't handle it like us guys.
I can,
you know, if you weren't this gentle little lady. No, it wasn't a gender-related suggestion. It was
an experience-related question.
Right. I mean, you could chalk it up to that. They were basically saying, because there's these people that have been out, you know, she got involved in a situation. And her light just happened to shine a little bit brighter than everybody else's for a short time, which gave her a name and a certain celebrity. And that kind of comes into play as well. But there really wasn't, there really wasn't I didn't think, a suggestion of pandering to a particular group.
Okay. I can live with that.
And one thing I'm looking forward to, I think.
Yeah.
I think the antagonist ultimately.
Ooh.
Don't want to give any spoilers. I think the antagonist ultimately is going to be wearing a dress. And it's about time. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, if men and women are the same, blah 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 blah. Then why can't the antagonist be female? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to be, but I see elements of it, and I'm fired up to see that.
Okay.
I don't have an issue with that.
No, I get it.
And it's not being misogynistic because, for you to, I mean, there's this absolutism that people have got, like, you know, only these people are good and only these people are evil, and you know, and that's just dumb. I mean, we're all capable.
No, I get it, because we're human beings, and
because we're human beings.
And based on what you just told me, it seems like the pilot at least got the whole thing of where they're treating Clarice like a human being,
right?
Where she went through a harrowing, a horrifying experience. And is understandably having some issues,
right? And it goes, and then some people don't understand this. There's a
shit changes you, bro.
There is I mean, actually, you know, there is a suggestion of you know, we're going to take care of you, but we're not going to cut you any slack at the same time.
I can respect that notion. I guess I'll have to.
I think that's going to be developed as the series goes on, as she proves herself. Proves herself to the, you know, to the boss,
to the FBI powers that be.
And of course, you know, they're going to, you know, it's going to be that standard format.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, what cop drama doesn't have a boss?
That's a complete hard ass.
That's a complete, like, God, fucking judge told you to goddamn prison capper.
You're making the whole department look bad. Stop setting people on fire, Joni.
Yeah, and then there's always the psychologist going, you know what? I think you're crazy.
You know what? I want to.
This person you need to decommission this officer. This officer is about to snap.
You know what? I want a psychologist character that is just basic. I want a psychologist character that is basically just, oh, you got some shit going on upstairs? Here's some Xanax.
You know what? That's a very good observation.
I want a psychologist.
Not one of them has offered a prescription.
It's inexcusable.
It's inexcusable.
Yeah, I just want a psychologist character that is basically a legalized drug dealer. Like, literally a legalized drug dealer.
Are you making something up?
I don't know.
No, you're not.
I mean, in TV and movies, the psychologist is like either the villain.
You're supposed to write the script out.
Yeah.
You know, and squash it up and throw it at them.
Yeah, exactly.
Catch. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want like I want a portrayal of a psychologist.
Like a caring, apathetic.
Yeah, exactly. You know, someone.
Now get out of my office.
Yeah, exactly. I just want something like that where it's I've seen it done with doctors with like House MD.
Yeah.
I want it done with a psychologist where someone just comes in and is like, I just have this weird claustrophobia, and they just throw a prescription of Xanax at their forehead, tell them to get the fuck out of their office. Here's a propofol. Like, get the fuck out of my office.
Shows them like pulling out a desk drawer full of bottles of pills.
Just throw the pill bottle at them.
Right, just peg them in the head with a pill bottle. Mm-hmm. Try this, bank.
Yeah, here's your tryptophan extreme, bitch. Now go wash your hands.
Those aren't Tic Tacs.
Yeah. Although if you do take them like Tic Tacs, don't call me.
Take them like Tic Tacs.
If you take them like Tic Tacs, don't call me.
That's right, because you won't be conscious.
Exactly.
Oh man.
I just want this. I just want like I just want this psychologist drug dealer that's just totally on board with this whole thing of, you can be your own secret Santa with Ambien and Ambien and Amazon.
Oh my God. That would make a good article. How to be your own secret Santa.
Ambien and Amazon.
Ambien and Amazon. Oh man. You heard it here first, folks.
Uh-huh.
Your own Bel-E and Scratch podcast. Your own secret Santa. Ingredient. Yeah.
Some Ambien and Amazon.
That's right.
Just do that.
Couch potato. Turn on your favorite streaming service. Get your phone out, your laptop. Ambien and Amazon. Be your own personal secret Santa. That's awesome.
Yeah, I want a psychologist character that's just that. Like they're not a complete jerk about it.
Because when the second appointment comes, then the person shows up. The success will be determined by this question. So how are things? I don't know. Bang. Looks like it's working so far. Oh man.
Yeah, I want that. They don't have to be a jerk. They don't have to be a dick. It doesn't have to be like House MD where he just can't be bothered because it's just beneath him.
Right.
Just someone who genuinely cares, but let's face it, they just can't be bothered. Like,
there's got to be at least one out there.
There has to be.
There has to be.
Yeah, there has to be.
I mean, not everybody is. I mean, we all. I'm gonna tell you something. As a licensed professional,
yeah,
we all go through these stages where you never.
Yeah, there's a difference between having the energy to help you, and then there's throwing a pill bottle at your face and telling you to leave.
That's a different style of caring, that's for sure.
But at least you care.
At least you care.
That's the difference.
It's like, hey, I'm just, it's like, hey, we can sit here for the next hour.
Mm-hmm.
And you can spill your guts out and be uncomfortable, and I can listen and be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Or we could just get to the punchline.
Yeah.
You're gonna get these pills regardless.
Exactly. I just need to know what kind of pills to give you.
Oh, me. Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's like, schizophrenia, take this, ping!
Ping. That's pretty. I mean, it's pretty much what it is.
Oh, bipolar.
I mean, it's unfortunate.
Ping!
I mean, I don't mean I don't mean to besmirch.
No,
that interaction, but it's unfortunate that's what it's come to.
Yeah, the fact that basically every cure-all is basically comes in a pill bottle because we don't like big pharma in this household.
No.
We joke about it, but we don't like it. We don't.
That was the previous dynamic. I'm curious to see what the next level.
Indeed.
Based on what's happened in the last 14 months. The reality that it has...
You mean the people that hasn't already killed themselves?
Well...
Not to besmirch that either.
No,
just in this is the reality here.
This is the reality here.
Yeah.
I mean,
unfortunate.
No, I mean, it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. I've been there,
Yeah.
And it's not cool. No, but I mean, there is a dose of reality. It's kind of like being forced. This scene in The Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
And he's being force fed at the party.
At the party.
Yeah,
the
it's kind of like that.
The fudge, the brownies, yeah.
What's going on right now? You can't escape it.
No.
You are being force fed reality in a way that we won't understand the beginning of the implications till at least 20 years from now.
Oh, definitely.
And probably 40, which is a generation.
But
there is...
I can guarantee you masks are now going to become a fashion statement.
Well...
Like, forever. This is probably going to be the prelude to everyone wearing gas masks.
Putting some orthodontic people out of work. I don't know.
I don't know either.
They've done it to themselves.
Yeah. Although, dermatology might go through the roof because of something called mask acne. Mask acne. So dermatology...
Oh, that's going to be terrible.
Yeah, I got it
at least
right
you got
here.
a mask to cover
Exactly.
it up.
I've got it on the side of my face. For some reason, the right side of my face is completely fine, but the right side, it just gets weird flare-ups. So I think that might be part of where I accidentally almost burned my skin off, but that's another story.
Yeah. It does resemble that rash.
What kind of rash?
The rash that was before. Just a little,
yeah.
A certain area there.
I might actually have to pony up the dough to go to either an esthetician or a dermatologist to look at this side of my face and go, hey, how do I fix that?
Yeah.
It's like I do good skincare, but this side of my face accidentally over exfoliated because I'm stupid and I didn't do research and I didn't put moisturizer on my face because, again, I was stupid at that time in my life. I was a very immature child. At 19 years old. Yeah, exactly. And, I don't know. Sooner or later I gotta do it. But right now it's manageable.
Yeah.
Anyway, so...
So, no, I think it's gonna wake a lot of people up.
Yeah. And I'm just honestly, going back to the individual subject, I'm just happy that Clarice is hopefully now...
Yes.
Is not going to be a trash fire.
I don't know how far it's going to go.
I mean,
I'm not speaking for the whole series.
No. This is the first episode.
I saw half of the second.
Oh!
When I was in and out.
I got to get my boss in on it because he's a fan of the books. I got to get him on it because he's also a pirate.
Well, I'll just say the pilot's worth taking a look at. That's all I can tell you.
I'll tell him that tomorrow. I'll tell him that. I'll be like, hey, man, boss man. You gotta check out the pilot.
It didn't make me uncomfortable.
It's wild. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the pilot. Did it at least have a good
The only plot hole was she was in the middle of something and somebody just shows up and drags her out of the room. We gotta go right now.
Well, stuff happens.
Yeah, stuff happens.
I would have to see the episode.
I thought that was a little extreme, But anyway.
Well, I mean, I guess if you work for the FBI and shit goes down, you gotta go right there.
I guess.
I don't know. I don't know.
Good thing she wasn't trying to pinch one off, so I can say.
Exactly. Shoot. Yeah, I don't remember the X-Files episode where Mulder just breaks into Scully's room and is like, we gotta go, there's aliens! Get my laser rifle!
Where's Ricky?
Oh, that's gonna be a running joke, isn't it?
Sure.
The Mulder's laser rifle named Ricky. Because it's sentient.
Yeah, it's set on stun.
Anyway. Let's see. So there was the Clarice, which I'm now gonna have to watch.
Right.
I'm just gonna have to, because I already said it's boring, and you proved to me that at least it's worth a shot.
It's definitely worth a look, yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't become a trash fire.
Oh.
Yeah, just don't become a trash fire in terms of bad writing or pandering or something.
I think they added in enough elements
to where it's not going to be pandering.
There's an interesting dynamic between her and Clarice and the girl she saved.
It's cool. I got no problem with that.
So, it's like she's the only one that's still alive.
Yeah, I get it. No. I don't mind stuff like that as long as it's good.
Without doing any spoilers.
Yeah. As long as it's got good writing, or at the very least passable writing.
Seems passable, it does.
Yeah. Now, obviously, at some point, they gotta crank it up a notch in order to keep going, but, whatever.
She seems a little more vulnerable, so I think that's the relatability that people are going to get involved with.
I can understand that, because I'm sick and tired of the media treating, they write strong, independent women who are basically just dudes they're basically dude characters, but they just put a woman in that role. I'm done with it. I don't want to get into it, but I'm just done with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I'm just done.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's see. What was the other thing?
Oh.
Which one?
I don't know. You tell me.
You tell me.
Mine begins with a P.
Polar.
Yeah, Polar.
Okay, I was about to say, because we got something related to Clarice that you said you would watch, and I'm going to hold you to it, because I want you to see how batshit crazy it is as well.
Alright. Woo!
Which one? Polar? Since we already started, since we already mentioned it? Okay. Alright. I said I would watch Polar, still have not watched the X-Files movie. I got distracted because GameStop stonks go brrrr. Internet joke.
I see something like 2,400%. I mean.
Yes, you did.
My God, I don't even know how you weather that.
Yes, you did. Oh my God, GameStop is going turbo overdrive because you made the internet angry.
That's something.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I already showed you those videos on 4chan getting angry. That spooked you.
Yeah, it did.
Don't fuck with 4chan, people. No. Listeners, I'm telling you right now. Listen to me, listeners. Listen to me right now. Don't fuck with 4chan.
It's a sleeping dog. Leave it alone.
Yeah, just leave it alone.
Just leave it alone.
Leave it alone. Anyway. I got distracted with GameStop. Still had not seen the X-Files movie, the first one, because whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, whatever.
Polar, which is, okay. I initially said that this was like a John Wick B-movie knockoff. And to an extent, it is. It's in that genre.
Yeah. Of course, John Wick didn't invent that genre.
No, but
it's been around.
Brought it back with a vengeance.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, John Wick brought it back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
Alright, and, you clearly were not paying attention to that movie. And to be fair, I wasn't either, except I was a little bit more invested because I'm just like, okay, let's see where this ride takes us. Woo! Alright, so the movie Polar came out in 2019, and they're still using flip phones, which pissed me off, but whatever. CIA probably still uses flip phones because no one uses flip phones. Anyway.
Sure.
Yeah, I am convinced that the CIA does not invent its own new technology. They just use technology from the past that no one else uses.
It's been retooled.
It's been retooled for their purposes. Because no one uses it. Like, I don't know, MSN emails?
Yeah.
They probably use those because no one else fucking uses MSN anymore. Does that make sense?
Yes.
They use pagers because no one uses pagers.
Right.
Stuff like that. I'm convinced the CIA does that.
Well, when you're in certain places in Europe,
Precisely.
They're still in the 20th century.
Exactly.
Toy.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
Anyway, okay, Polar is basically what it appears to be. Is it looks like it's shot. It's like they shot 2 separate movies and then just slammed them together, and it somehow makes sense. And it does make sense.
That would be an interesting writing technique.
What, shoot 2 different movies and then just slam them together, see if they fit?
It's like The Professional. The original writing gives a different spin on the edited version. In other words,
you mean the director's cut versus the theatrical?
Yeah, you literally have the opportunity, if it's done well,
sure,
to create 2 movies out of 1.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
No, yeah, that does make sense. But what I mean is that the first, the opening act of Polar, is it starts off. There's some kind of helicopter / drone. It probably is a drone, just for budgetary sake. Like a big tracking shot of this huge, expansive forest. And there's this one giant mansion in the middle of this huge forest. It's a big mansion. There's an outdoor pool. There's one dude who is Johnny Knoxville. Because we had to have that image in my brain.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't hate Johnny Knoxville. I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you not addicted to
Oxycontin.
Thank you. Oxycontin yet. Because he's gonna be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna have to be. And it basically starts off there's they're playing these 70s music. He's singing because he's drunk, and there's this hot chick who they constantly flash her boobs and ass at the camera because it's a exploitation film.
Yes,
they do that.
They do that.
That's the name of the game. I was not mad.
Sure.
Because people get uptight with the whole thing. Exploiting. It's
it's definitely a B movie.
It's a B movie. It's a exploitation film. Well, they have to show the TNA.
It has the look. It has the cinematography of an A movie.
Yeah, it has
story and structure.
Yeah, it's a big budget B movie.
It's a big budget B movie.
And I like those. Those are my favorites.
I like those too.
Yeah, those are usually my favorites. This is just in the further. People say that Tarantino's movies are exploitation. He's a lot
exploitation
style, but in terms of actual content, no. Polar's got him beat.
Right.
Well, they're also not showing chicks' feet all the time, so that fuck me, I guess. That might be the primary difference.
Right.
I knew immediately this movie was going to be made of pure chaos when I saw 2 things in the opening credit crawl.
Huh.
Just kind of backtrack a little. I saw 2 things that immediately told me, oh, this gonna be a wild ride. They said it was a made for Netflix movie, which it's not a stamp of quality. But here's the thing, obviously it's not a stamp of quality because Netflix made that Death Note movie, which was just garbage, hot garbage. Don't ask questions.
Yeah,
don't do it.
I didn't get very far in it.
Yeah, don't do it. So the Netflix made Death Note movie is just hot garbage. But here's the thing. Here's the thing with streaming services. Anybody listening to this, I'm sure you will have noticed that anytime there's a specific made for streaming service blank, because these streaming services they're basically trying to be like TV show networks.
Sure. Which
is not a problem, except they're on the internet. But with streaming shows, because it's relatively new genre, relatively new market, they're throwing anything they can at the wall to see what sticks.
Absolutely.
And therefore, it gives them some creative freedom and some liberties that classical television couldn't get within 100 meters of.
Makes sense.
A good example that I saw, like the first couple of episodes. I saw like the first episode and I went, okay, I understand everything now in terms of how far streaming services can go. This is not an endorsement. This is just a hey, this is a thing that exists. I believe on Netflix there is a show called Bonding.
Bonding.
Yeah, it's and I don't want to get on the subject of it. I just want to tell you that it exists. It is a
chemistry class?
No. It's got some kind of chemistry, not that kind. It is basically kind
combustible liquids.
It's some kind of liquids.
Excuse me.
It is kind of like this rom-com TV show, not a sitcom, but kind of a rom-com-esque TV show.
Yeah.
Related to the BDSM lifestyle. And that's on Netflix. You can go watch it right now.
The what lifestyle?
BDSM.
Oh.
Again, I don't want to get on the I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, okay.
I'm just telling you that this exists.
Okay.
This is how far they're able to get away with stuff. That's why I'm using it as an example.
Right.
Because on normal TV, they couldn't do that.
Mm-mm.
But it's Netflix or it's Hulu. They can do that.
It's
Why?
a paid service.
Yes. Yeah. It's a paid service. It's the internet. You can get away with more stuff on the internet. Because it's the internet. Yeah, I don't want to talk about the show. I haven't seen a lot of it. Not really worth it, apparently. Right. But I'm just using it as an example of this is a thing that they're allowed to do. You know?
Right.
So back to Polar. So based on what I just said, the fact I saw it was made for Netflix is like, okay, they're going to have some creative leeway. And then I saw that the studio that was in charge of this film was either like Vancouver or Toronto, basically Canadian.
It was, now that you mention it, it was definitely
Canadian. Yeah.
You got the impression that it was European.
Yeah.
But could have, yeah, I see that.
So, it's made for Netflix and it's Canadian. And here's the thing, I have nothing against Canada.
Of course.
I mean, they made Letterkenny.
Sure.
Which is just amazing.
Right.
9th season's a little shaky, but, whatever.
Whatever.
They can't all be home runs.
No, they can't.
But here's the thing. Canada's got different rules and structures, too.
Well, half of them are French, so
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they're a lot laxer. They're a lot more relaxed about certain things that would be taboo in normal North American culture, or just at least American culture.
Yeah, let's take normal out of that.
Yeah, okay. Let's just say American.
North American
Yeah,
culture.
I apologize for that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're a lot more, there's some things that they're pretty chill with, whereas other cultures may not be.
Correct.
So I see these two things together, made for Netflix and made by a Canadian film company, and I went, oh, I'm about to see some crazy shit, aren't I?
So that's a qualifier.
There's two qualifiers.
I got you.
Now, does it always mean that you're about to see some crazy shit? No, not really.
No.
But does it mean that realm is, that percentage gets jacked up?
Oh, exactly. I mean, that's what I was talking about in the earlier segment about, I went and watched something on one of the streaming services that early in the morning. I just wasn't ready to take on that type of imagery that earlier.
Yeah.
And I switched to one of the free television services.
Yes.
Because I knew there would be a little more.
It would be a little more tame.
Yeah, tame.
Yeah.
So to speak. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So, there would be more of a suggestion.
Yeah.
Instead of a scene where you're like on top of.
Yes.
Literally. Like you'd see somebody take an injury and fall down, and you would assume based on the type of injury that they died, and find
Sure.
out later that they did.
Yeah.
Versus sitting on top of them and watching them bleed out.
Exactly.
You know? There's a little bit of difference there.
Yeah, I mean,
it was just too early for that.
Yeah,
for me.
I mean, if the film company was somewhere in America, the worst you would see is just people getting shot like a lot.
Yeah.
And that'd be about it.
As a rule.
Which for us is just normal.
Yeah.
You know. Anything beyond that is kind of abnormal, but I don't want to get too much into the cultural differences between America and Canada.
No.
Anyway, so I see these two qualifiers, Netflix and Canada, and I'm like, oh, this is just gonna be fantastic. Anyway, so back to the mansion in the middle of the forest with Johnny Knoxville there, and the chick that keeps flashing the TNA and all that.
Yeah.
All right, so she's basically the bait, and she is just acting like she's really into Johnny Knoxville, like really into Johnny Knoxville, like laying it on thick,
right,
thick like molasses. And then you see all these other shots of these crazy characters, assassins, of course, and they're all just kind of they're all convening on this mansion.
All these different death squads.
These different people. See, there was like the one guy who was like a sniper. Is that guy, another guy, and a fourth guy, and technically the bait is the fifth person in this scenario.
Shooter or stabber?
Yes.
A forker.
Both. She definitely forked some people. I tell you what.
No forks allowed.
Yeah, she definitely got forked a couple times, but I'll get into that later.
Too funny.
So, without going into it, because it gets not graphic, but definitely implied graphic.
Yeah.
Basically, she quote unquote distracts Knoxville in a very peculiar way, and he gets shot to death.
Right.
They basically killed him until he died.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They didn't just kill him. They killed him to death.
Oh, well.
That is how graphic what just happened to poor Knoxville.
That's extra.
Yeah. You gotta pay extra for that.
That's right. Oh, you want him dead? Oh. You don't want him to die later? No. Okay.
That'll be $500.
Yeah, there's a kicker on that.
Exactly. So these crazy characters who clearly walked off of the set of like the colorful spin-off of Sin City.
Yeah.
They basically killed Johnny Knoxville to death, and they all load up in a helicopter, and then all of a sudden they start singing along to the disco song that he fucking died to. And this little bouncing ball with the lyrics pops up on screen singing along to this disco song. And it's like, what the fuck am I watching?
That hooked me right there.
Yeah, that hooked me right there.
I don't know what's next, but I'm going to stick around and find out.
Exactly. And then it hard cut. No transition. Hard fucking cut. Okay, so the first thing you see are these 5 nut bars that each got their own little shtick.
Yes.
One is a sniper. One is like this crazy Asian lady because of course.
Of course.
One is the bait who gets forked. Another one is clearly a soccer dude. He's got to be a soccer hooligan. I think he's actually Irish. I don't know what team they pull for, so just pick one.
Pick one.
Then there's another dude who just looks like a brick with a face. And then so you see these guys, these colorful assassin people.
Of course.
And then it hard cuts. There's no transition, there's no build-up, just hard cuts to the actual main character of the movie, Mads Mikkelsen, who is at a doctor's office. 'Cause he's an old man. And he, writes, he's like, previous medical history. Oh, yeah, I shattered every bone in my body. I broke my eardrum. I got stabbed and shot, 40 times, but it's no big deal.
That's right. I'm 10 feet tall and bulletproof.
Yeah, clearly. and it just follows him. He goes to the doctor's visit. Doctor's like, oh, it's retirement's like that. Retirement people go into midlife crisis. It's what's in your brain that's the actual killer. When he's talking to the deadliest motherfucker in the planet, on the planet,
he's trying to mind as an assassin.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. He's trying to psych out.
Of course, he doesn't know, but
Well, of course, the doctor doesn't know, but we kind of sort of know based on the context of what had just happened.
Us third wall folk.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, it kind of goes throughout it goes throughout Mad's day. He's just putting his affairs in order because he's about to retire, getting his shit together, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then at some point he gets a phone call from some boss lady who's just like, hey, some members of our, a bunch of our operatives keep getting shot to death. Can you go kill this dude?
Please.
Yeah, please. We'll pay you money.
Please with a cherry on top.
Yeah, please with a cherry on top. And Mads is like, no. And then he hangs up the phone, he leaves. It's like, no, I'm not gonna kill this guy.
Next.
Yeah, next. And then it keeps going back and forth between whatever the main character is actually doing, which is just, him trying to chill.
I know, he's not bothering anybody.
He's not bothering anybody.
He's not freaking hanging out.
Yeah, he's not a dick. He's not trying to set the town on fire. He's just trying to chill. And he is constantly unable to chill. Because of the plot B, which is these cartoon motherfuckers over here.
Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, straight up murderous Hanna-Barbera. So basically, it just keeps cutting back and forth between Mads' character, who's trying to chill, and the cartoon characters, who they basically say the plot of the movie is upon retirement with this particular assassin company.
Yeah.
Because apparently it's an institution in this universe.
Yes,
it probably is an institution in our universe, but I have no knowledge of it.
No, Your Honor.
So what's happening is that upon retirement, you basically put like a certain amount of money in some kind of retirement fund with the assassin company you earn from killing people in the face.
Taking a successful contract.
Exactly. You put some money in like a retirement account with this assassin company. And upon retiring, they match what you put into that account, kind of like a 401k with your company.
Don't you remember your first deposit after you strangled that guy in the bathtub?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So basically, what the cartoon characters are trying to do is they're hunting down people who either are about to retire or have retired. Excuse me. So they kill them before they retire. Therefore, all that money gets wired to the assassin company, and they don't have to pay out any money.
Effing corporate suit.
Exactly.
Man.
And I'm just like, okay, you know what? In terms of fucking with the world's greatest assassin. Alright, John Wick, that was fate. This is...
Yeah, we've covered this.
Yeah, we covered this. John Wick, that was fate with the fucking kid and jacking his car and, killing the dog.
Right.
This, I'm not gonna say it's more creative, but it's definitely understandable. They're trying to steal Mads' pension.
Yeah, they're basically a pension hit squad.
Yeah, they're a pension hit squad. They're trying to rob the old man of all of his money.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, they're trying to take his money. His money.
So that's a different twist.
That's a different twist.
Sure.
I liked it because it's different.
Yeah.
It wasn't some. It wasn't like the boss is like, ooh, I don't like this guy. I want him off the planet.
Or he flirted with my wife.
Yeah,
or
nothing like that. There was no young buck assassin who's like, I'm gonna kill the greatest assassin in the world.
There was a business decision.
Yes, that's the most.
It's not personal.
That is literally the definition of it's not personal, it's just business.
It's just business, yeah.
It's literally it.
Yeah,
I liked that.
I thought that was unique.
I enjoyed that immensely because it's like, well,
it's
not the best reason, but it's a reason.
Yeah, it's an ongoing theme that's coming into this culture.
Oh yeah, you know? Government companies stealing your money.
Old people need to go ahead and die.
Yeah, except you die.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole thing, that whole shtick.
You know.
So, it's like they shot two different movies because it keeps cutting back between the cartoon characters and they're being all weird and, murderous and sexual, and then it cuts to Mads and he's like trying to buy groceries. Because he's done.
He's done.
He's done.
He just wants his money.
He just wants his money, wants to retire, just wants to fuck off to the mountains and not bother anyone anymore.
Which is fair.
Which is fair. I don't want to get too into this movie because I do genuinely recommend it, if only for the actual factor.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's a nice ride.
It's a nice ride. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, I will only go as far as the one scene where it's like the two separate movies come together.
Yeah.
And I think you know where I'm about to go with this.
Maybe.
Okay, so the boss of the assassin company that Mads' character is about to retire from, he calls those four jockeys from the beginning of the film and says, "Hey, track this guy down and kill him."
Yeah.
For the reason I basically described.
Yes.
So they go. So it basically there's a good 10 to 15 minutes. This movie's like 2 hours long too. Thankfully.
Yeah.
Because you can't cram this into an hour and 15 minutes.
No.
So they basically there's a good 10 to 15 to 20 minutes where it just cuts back and forth between Mads just chilling around town. He's talking to his neighbor. She's all traumatized because of something happened to her. As a spoiler, but he's basically trying to reconnect with humanity.
Right.
And Mads' character keeps having flashbacks to like a job that went wrong, which is foreshadowing, of course.
Sure.
And then it goes directly into the cartoon characters, and they're straight up B-movie grindhousing it up with just executing motherfuckers left and right.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to find the main character.
It's almost like two different styles.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah, because it's like him, and you can hear the winter wind.
Yeah, he's trying to be
in the background. Yeah. And he's just trotting down the street.
Yeah, he's trying to remember what it's like to be a human being again.
Yeah.
And then the cartoon characters is strangling this 600-pound dude in a chair in a trailer in Texas. Because they can't find the main character. So they're just going through all the properties with his name on it to try and locate him.
Right.
And then it gets to the part where they actually locate him.
Where the blending begins.
Yeah, where the actual blending of these two different styles come together and meet. They track the main character to the Montana or wherever the fuck he's at.
Yeah.
Which is basically somewhere in Canada. Like, name a spot in Canada where there's, like, snow and a forest.
Oh.
Exactly. So they basically track the main character down to his location. They see him, coming out of a store. And they send the bait, like, far off. She's acting like she's getting car trouble.
Right.
So he's got to. So Mads has to give the bait lift back to his house because it's cold. It's about to be dark soon. Below freezing. She's probably gonna die.
Yeah. She's hot.
Yeah, she's hot because she's like 22 or something. He's almost 50 or is actually 50. I don't know.
Who knows?
So I'm not getting into the graphic details because it gets a little bit really graphic in the movie. She flirts her ass off to the main character.
Right.
And she gets forked.
There's definitely some forking.
Yeah, it gets kind of graphic. It's like, oh, Jesus, Jesus! Not quite Spartacus / L-word level.
Spartacus.
Yes, I know what that is. Not quite like that.
Ugh.
It's like 2 to 3 steps under that. But
Right.
it's still pretty advanced for someone who's in the North America where, you know, you don't see that every day.
Yeah, who's gonna clean this mess up?
Exactly. Exactly.
Bone the house up if you want to, but well, no, I better not say that.
Yeah, you better not say that.
You're gonna hire somebody to clean the place up.
Yeah, exactly.
And a carpenter.
Exactly. So this exchange happens, and the other cartoon characters, they start basically circling the house in the middle of the woods. And it is just okay, what's about to break loose, because we got 2 people over here getting forked, and we got the other characters just circling the cabin. And this is where the 2 styles meet.
That's right.
Because
trying to assassinate a naked dude.
Yeah, trying to assassinate a naked dude. You know, last minute pulls her up. She gets shot in the chest. He flips out, obviously, because they're trying to kill him. Oh. And Mads is naked.
I'm trying to stay within the parameters of good taste with my comments at this moment.
I'm aware of this. So, the main character is basically naked out in the woods, and there's snowing everywhere, and he kills everyone. He kills everybody. And it's like, okay, this is where the 2 sides meet.
I don't think naked in a forest, I don't think I could do any gardening, much less assassinate a squad.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it is straight up chaos, because I'm just
but
like,
it's not too,
fuck?
you know, it's not too, I don't know, you've already established the parameters.
Yes.
So by the time you get there, it's not too ludicrous.
Yeah,
you're
except
like, this is a stone cold fucker here that can run around naked in the forest and snow everywhere. It's
exactly.
Like, okay. Aren't you afraid of shrinkage?
I don't think he's got to worry about that.
I don't think he's got to worry about that. Yeah, I was the same way. I was like, oh, hey, well.
All right, this is happening now.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that movie right there, it showed me that Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if this is just him as a person or him as someone who's like, you know, he's Danish, you know, in that Scandinavian area.
Yeah.
So obviously, again, go the whole thing of, you know, different cultures, you know, some things are taboo here that aren't here and all that, yada, yada, yada. I don't know if it's just him as a person or him just because of where he comes from, but this man clearly gives 0 fucks about literally everything. He is a fantastic actor.
He probably argued for it.
He
probably argued for it. They're like, okay, here's the part where you run around in the woods in your underwear. He's like, that man.
Dude, what do you mean I'm in my underwear? I was just in the middle of this. Continuity.
I was born in an igloo. You know, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
You know,
either.
think about the production where this guy had. You know, I would be very interested on how, and not for anything salacious.
No.
Just the
continuity.
just the medical aspect of someone completely naked in a forest full of snow.
Who's shooting
for
people.
hours at a time.
Yeah, who's shooting people. And I'm just like, wow, this guy just does not care.
Oh, I'm trying to keep the cork in this bottle. Do you think there was any sounds made? You know, because somebody running wearing clothes, somebody running naked, the sounds are completely different.
I'm aware of this. They have to be different.
They just are. Okay.
What is the difference between like a shush 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 and a flap 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 flap?
Oh,
well, he managed to sneak up on someone, so I guess he knows how to do it right.
I guess.
I don't know.
That's awful.
Yeah, I know. But I definitely did look at Mads in a different perspective, because I'm just like, okay, I don't know how many people were on set. I don't know what the weather conditions were actually like as they filmed. And he
seemed comfortable with it.
Well, in that Scandinavian, Swedish, Norway region.
I'm sure he's been naked. Well, if you were going to read a list of qualifications about who has experience of running naked through
those guys have got it.
I think Danish might apply.
Yes. He nailed it. Yeah, that's when I went, oh, he just gives, precisely 0 fucks about everything.
Oh, my God. They probably, who knows if he was first choice. I mean, he's definitely talented enough to be first choice.
He is.
But the project, I mean, think about it. If they would have suggested this to
somebody else, they would not have done it.
Some of these North American actors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna.
Yeah, and then they get to Mads, and it's like, okay, in this one scene, you're running around naked in the snow, and you're shooting people, and he's like, dude, that's like Tuesday for me.
I'm able to flash back to middle school.
I bet. Oh man, I'm genuinely.
Because the big sport over there. One of the big sports over there is is literally it's what is it called? It's an Olympic sport where they literally
curling?
No. They literally ski through the forest.
Yeah.
With a rifle.
What?
Yes, there's a winter. I swear. It used to be. It doesn't get. I'm sure it's still there, and it's definitely
what?
It's definitely the bastard child of World War I.
They ski through the forest. They got a rifle.
They got a rifle, and there are targets. There's a course. I'm not making this up. There's a start and there's an end, and they do it for time and accuracy on the.
So it's literally
these kids are raised on it.
I'm looking this shit up.
I swear. It's I can't think of the name of it.
I'm doing this. This is happening now.
Oh my God!
Where is it?
No, they ski. They're in full. Obviously, they're in full from head to toe. They're in this head to toe leotard.
Bullshit. That is optional.
Goes out. I don't know if you get extra points for all natural.
I don't know. Hey Google.
What are you doing?
Rifle skiing.
Rifle skiing. It's an Olympic sport.
Oh my God, it has a name. Thank you, Google.
Cross.
Biathlon.
Biathlon. There it is. Biathlon.
What the?
Yeah.
The biathlon is a winter sport that combines cross-country skiing and rifle shooting. It is treated as a race with contestants skiing through a cross-country trail whose distance is divided into shooting rounds. The shooting rounds are not timed per se, but depending on the competition, missed shots result in extra distance or time being added to the contestant's total. And there's a fucking picture.
You get a gold medal for this.
No. They're using crossbows.
Oh, they're using crossbows now?
I guess.
Oh, they PC bitches.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, crossbow works. I don't care. We're rifle or crossbow.
Whatever.
Hey, if you want to bring a crossbow, hey, frack, maybe you get the Robin Hood Award. I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
It's an archer in Northern England. I don't know.
Yeah. It originally started in 1924.
Oh, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
After World War I. There you go. That's when it...
Norwegian ski soldier. They got a fucking picture.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. It probably goes up all the way back to the...
Oh, God.
The Prussian War. At least.
Well, that actually does bring up a point, because sometimes I always wondered, going through history, it's like, how do these heavily snowed regions even have conventional war?
Yeah.
You know, before artillery. Oh yeah, they just strapped skis to their feet and fucking shot each other.
Now imagine a platoon of soldiers coming down a mountain on skis, right? Man, that would scare the shit out of you.
Yeah, it would basically be like a dark humor version of that scene in Mulan where it's like it's like Mulan and her gang, and then all of a sudden the Huns show up and they charge down the mountain and there's thousands of them. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's like that, but they're on skis and they got guns.
Skis and got guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Absolutely.
That. I gotta show that to
I'm telling you.
I gotta show that to my meathead coworker.
It's still an Olympic sport, I think.
Yeah, and that's probably why they gotta use crossbows, because not every country has legalized guns anymore.
No, it was all... No, there's more gun... Well, I don't know about more guns than crossbows, but... No, it from my memory, I don't know when it changed, but it was, I mean, like I said, I don't care either way. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I find it fascinating as it is.
Yes.
If you want to ski around through a forest and shoot at targets.
Yeah, and look, chill on the skiing targets. I almost pissed myself.
Okay, with the cancel culture, 10 years from now, they'll probably be skiing with slingshots.
I don't fucking know.
I don't know. But, you know.
The fact that it exists.
The fact that it exists, yes.
Oh my God! And the fact that just the sheer fact that it exists, it brings joy to my heart.
It's just one of those wonderful nuances of another culture. You know?
Yes,
it just really is. You know, it's like snowshoes. Aren't they quaint?
Oh my God!
Because I don't have to wear them. You know, that sort of thing.
According to the Encyclopedia Britannica, the biathlon, or however the fuck you say it, is rooted in the skiing traditions of Scandinavia, where early inhabitants revered the Norse god Yrr as both the ski god and the hunting god. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, they have a dedicated ski god.
A ski god, that's...
Yeah. I'm gonna
that's
send...
different.
Yeah, I'm gonna send this wiki article to my Norse pagan friend, and I'm gonna ask him to explain to me how the fuck this makes sense. So I will say to him, like, okay, look, I get Thor, I get Odin, I get Freya, I get Loki, I get Balder.
Yes.
Who the fuck is this guy? Or his dedication is, he not only does he hunts on skis. Because... Fuck you.
Is he starved during the summer? What the fuck's going on?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
What does he do?
Yeah, does he have to go fight Fenrir, that fucking jackal wolf thing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Does he come from Gununga Gap? Which, you know, most people don't recognize that reference, but I do.
Yes.
Oh, I legit almost peed myself when you brought that up.
That's fine.
No, it is not fine.
So maybe he has experience tracking and killing in the woods. I don't know.
I don't fucking know either.
It'd be interesting if he did.
Hang on, you keep talking. I'm actually going to look this up. I'm going to look this up.
No, the Danes, I mean...
they're technically Vikings.
Yeah, they're definitely in that
region.
In that region, you know, it's like Beowulf. I always thought Beowulf was about the Danes, and technically it is.
Yeah,
but
technically
Beowulf is a Geet, and I'm not sure exactly which country that is.
It's definitely up in that region.
You know,
but
maybe where we consider. What's Danish used to be 2 countries.
Yeah. I don't fucking know.
Probably. So yeah, you know, we don't. You know, you don't understand. It was like, you know, I went and lived in a place that was, you know, that used to get blizzards, and the culture is completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different, because their understanding of life is from a whole different perspective. So, yeah.
No, I get it.
So, yeah, that's cool.
No, I know. I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm never going to get over this.
You're not looking for classes, are you?
I'm not. You fucking watch me.
Hey, listen. Hey, there's snow in Japan, right?
Dude,
I want to see a samurai on some skis with a katana.
There's probably a B movie where that exists.
I'm definitely looking for it now. I'm telling you.
Look, I already made the decision where I wanted to learn, Kempo.
Kempo.
There is a Kempo studio. Do not pair me with skis. I will become invincible.
Yeah, here, put these
Do
on.
not test me.
I mean, what do? Do you chase people down the street when there's no snow?
Probably.
Clamp.
Probably. I don't fucking know. Anyway. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm never gonna get over this.
One of those learning experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck is this place?
But Polar,
Yeah, I know. It's like, fuck me with a spatula. He's running around shooting people naked in the snow. Okay, I know. Okay. Fuck. Okay. I didn't get anywhere with that.
All right.
Yeah, apparently, in terms of this guy's credibility, being a ski shooter in the literal sense was not high enough on his repertoire to make the wiki article. But that's another story. Alright, I'll stop there in terms of story for Polar. Because the last 15 minutes of the movie is just, what?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bit of a transition.
Yeah.
Well, now that you mention it,
yeah.
There was a couple of times. This is one of the other interesting things about Polar.
Yeah.
I thought I had come to. There's like 2 or 3 episodes in Polar.
Yeah.
Where you kind of are given the suggestion based on your past experience of watching movies.
Yeah.
That it's over.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's like Jason. Is he dead? Not yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but it happens like more than once.
Yes.
You kind of hit an end where there's kind of a resolution to the story thread.
Yes.
And then the next one, and then one that you think everything is tied up, and then there's one that wasn't. Yeah. So it takes you, and it does that like 2 or 3 times in that movie. That's real interesting, because you're like, oh well, I guess I'm getting, because your body, I'm getting ready to get up and go to the bathroom. Nope.
Sit your ass back down.
Sit your ass down. Yeah. I'm gonna go get a snack.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Sit back down, buddy. I found that interesting. That was
I didn't like that too.
I was unfamiliar with that. I mean, obviously, Canada. Whatever. But yeah, I mean, obviously, you're used to that sort of thing in certain genres.
Yeah.
Obviously, the slasher horror type of thing.
Yeah.
Where the end is not necessarily the end.
Yeah.
But
it's not the end.
It's not the end, but they did it at least twice in Polar. It seemed to me to be coming to a completion, a conclusion,
and then
and then it didn't. So that was kind of neat.
That was kind of neat. I did appreciate that.
It kind of perked you up. You're like, wait, because your brain's starting to. This is what happened to me. My brain was starting to shut down because I'm thinking, oh well, the credits are about to roll, and then all of a sudden it dawned on me because there's a certain when they go into that second, it's like the slasher. You think they're dead.
Yes. There's
a certain period of time that they have. There's like X number of seconds or X number of minutes, and if in that time had that space has already been established by previous media, right? So a certain amount of time has to pass before you go, oh, okay, well now it really is the end. So I kind of sat there and was waiting for that, and then I had to perk up and go, "Hey, man, you need to start paying attention. Something else is going on here. This thing ain't going on.
Shit is about to go down.
Yeah, right, something else is about to go on." And you're like,
exactly.
"Oh, hey,
yeah, exactly."
So that was cool. That was an interesting dynamic that I noticed.
Let's see. Okay, so we had that Polar. Yeah, I it's not that I don't want to talk about Polar more.
Cool.
It's just you guys gotta fucking watch that. Okay, cross that off of the Wheel of Death. Women be shopping.
Women be shopping.
All right, that was just above Polar. But anyway, all right.
But I mean, it's worth a look. Give it a shot.
Okay, and I will mention this briefly because I've already did a dissertation on it. earlier before we started the recording, we were talking about Clarice.
Yeah.
And of course we did talk about it on the show, obviously. Anyway, you said you now have to watch Hannibal. And I'm going to hold you to it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch. Because I like that guy, that...
Mads?
Mads, I like him.
He is fantastic. Like, for realsies, fantastic.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you...
He just has that stoic look that I can appreciate.
Yes.
It doesn't get all up with too much dialogue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kind of like Christopher Lee in a way.
Yeah.
Except he's not English. He's Danish.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I'm just going to tell you this right now. And I'm going to tell you listeners too, because I don't know how much I explain. I think I did explain this, but I'm just going to go over it again briefly before we move on / end this. I don't know how far it'll go. Alright. I'm telling you, if you're going to watch it...
Wait a minute. Did you just preempt our polar discussion so you could talk about Hannibal again?
Yes.
My God. I'm going to step on your toe.
Can you reach it?
No.
Yeah, exactly. So shut the fuck up. Alright. So, I might have explained this in a previous podcast. I probably did. But
At least once, I'm sure.
Let me reiterate it. If you're gonna sit down and watch this bitch, I'm just gonna tell you, the first 5 to 6 episodes of the first season is kind of slow and vaguely uninteresting.
Okay.
Because I use the example of, with the X-Files, when Scully and Mulder would go out and solve a crime, you would catch a glimpse of the perpetrator without explicitly saying they're the perpetrator.
Right.
And part of the mystery of this particular X-File episode was who done it. Was it the chief of police? Was it the cook? Was it the butler? Was it the hunter?
Yeah.
Because you see these characters, but now you got to figure out who was it.
Yeah, who was it?
You know, the red herrings.
Who had opportunity, who had motive, blah, blah, blah.
You know, who's the red herring?
Yeah, exactly.
Who's the patsy? All of that.
Right.
And I enjoy that.
Yeah.
It's kind of the reason why I, per se, don't really care for crime, drama, procedural stuff, because they don't do it right. I'm not saying you have...
Well,
I'm not saying
they
you
get
have,
into the... I mean, you got to have the person... the majority of the time, you got to literally...
Yeah.
You got to have the person caught halfway through the episode.
Yeah.
And you spend the last half of the episode proving that they're the ones that did it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of a drag.
Yeah.
Look, if I want to watch, if I want to have a piece of media where I got to prove who did it and how they did it, I might as well just play Phoenix Wright. That's something you don't get. It's a lawyer game.
Oh, like Perry Mason? Where the whole show's just what the lawyer does?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Except it's Japanese.
Sure. Okay,
You know.
no, I got you.
It's basically like a manga, cartoon, Japanese thing. It's really cool.
Cool.
So basically, there's something else if I wanted to watch that aspect of it.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
So the whole crime procedural thing, for some reason, I don't know why, the first 6-ish episodes of season 1 of Hannibal, they don't do that. It's like there's a crime that was committed, and it's horrifying.
Right.
They get Will Graham, who's basically like the modern autistic Sherlock Holmes of that universe.
Right.
They get him to do it because he's the only one with the mental capacity to think like the killers. And it's like, dude, that's like, you know, Lawrence Fishburne is in it. He does good.
Okay.
And I'm like, dude, you know, gesturing to Lawrence Fishburne, you are the head of the FBI Behavioral Science Unit, and you gotta bring in this separate ass clown to do your job? You need to be fired. Whatever.
Anyway.
But there's the problem is there's a crime that was committed. It is heinous. They gotta bring Will into it because he's the only one that pieces everything together because he's got the gift.
Yeah.
And then they spend about an hour pissing back and forth between what Will's doing, what Jack, Lawrence Fishburne's character, is doing, what the B unit is doing in the autopsy lab, what Lecter's doing, just fucking people up because, yes, it's what he does.
Oh.
And then at the end, they catch the guy, and you're like, who's this ass clown?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Really?
They literally could have pulled some random dickhead off the street, said he was the killer, and it would have been the same result of, who's this guy?
So they spend the majority of the time arguing between each other to see who's in charge.
Kinda. Sorta.
You know, who's got the authority here?
Yeah, no, I get why they do that. They're basically
my turf.
Yeah. I mean, I get why they do that, because the first 5 to 6 episodes, they're trying to set up Will Graham.
Yeah.
Because the majority of people coming to the show, at least when it initially came on, you know who Hannibal Lecter is. Your grandma knows who Hannibal Lecter is.
Sure.
You know, from the movies and the books. But, at least in terms of the movies...
Right.
Will Graham was only in one Hannibal movie, and it was Red Dragon.
Yeah.
So, and he's like the main character, because Clarice is not involved at all. At all in the Hannibal series with Mads in it. So they spend the first 5 to 6 episodes they basically trying to set him up as a character, prop him up. I'm not going to say it's boring, because the acting is just impeccable.
Cool. I can handle that.
But the problem is that I don't give a shit about most of the characters.
Right.
Like, Will's cool. Fantastic actor. You know, he's like this mentally he's kind of like this pseudo-mentally disturbed detective. He collects stray dogs. He likes to go fishing. Yeah, sure. You know, they're trying to establish him as a character. Jack, I'm like, you know, the head of behavioral science unit, the Lawrence Fishburne character. I'm just like, look, I like you as a person, but you can't do your fucking job. Seriously, it took you 5 years to figure out that your wife has cancer. You suck at your job. You suck at your job.
No, that's valid.
You need to put your 2 weeks notice in, go eat a bacon sandwich and then go kill yourself.
Well.
And you got Mads as Hannibal Lecter, who is just, yes.
Cool.
He's fantastic.
Just watching his interpretation of that character would be probably worth watching it.
One thing I would say about Mads' interpretation of Hannibal, now that I've calmed down a little, now that I got the whole, you know, Hannibal Lecter's a cyborg robot ninja out of my system.
Yeah.
It's this, I would almost classify his way of, hang on, let me preface this. The way Anthony Hopkins did Lecter, I'm not going to talk about Manhunter because no one fucking remembers Manhunter, okay? I'm just going to tell you that right now for the purists out there. Anyway, Anthony Hopkins was creepy and sinister.
Very sinister.
Very sinister. Very insidious in a way.
Yeah. Very
well spoken, very thoughtful, considering he was an artist. He drew, he would write. Mm-hmm. You know, very intellectual, but very sinister.
Right.
The way Mads does it is almost reptilian.
How so?
Think of it like this. The way Anthony Hopkins does it is he'll put like a really creepy look in his eyes and kind of smile. Does the Stanley Kubrick stare, where they stare at the camera and tilt their chin down to make themselves look a little bit more fucking crazy.
Menacing.
Like more full crazy than they probably should be looking like.
Right.
But here's the thing. Hopkins showed emotion. As subtle as it could be, and as sinister it could be, but there was still emotion in his face.
True.
But the way Mads does it, now granted, this is like...
What, is it more deadpan?
way more deadpan.
Oh, okay.
Very reptilian. He's not wooden.
Okay,
it's
I
not.
got you.
It's not wooden. It's not like there's no emotion.
So,
it's like there's no facial features.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah.
Does he have the same level of sophistication?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Like dead on.
So, because I would say,
he's not crass in any way.
What would be the character transition? Obviously, it's the interpretation of two different people.
One thing I would definitely.
But there, even Anthony Hopkins' portrayal, there was a funny element to it as well. There was a little bit of humor in his character.
Yes, that is true. Mads does the same thing, and granted, this is at two different parts of Hannibal Lecter's story arc.
Sure.
With Anthony Hopkins, he was already in jail. He already got caught. The world already knows what he did, so he doesn't have to put on a facade.
Well, that's true.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So when Mads is doing it, the way you see it, it's very deadpan, very dark humor, very subtle, dry humor.
Right.
But
yeah,
what he does, and this is very genius. You being a licensed professional nurse,
licensed by the state,
something I think you would appreciate a heck of a lot more than, say, me, who has virtually no experience. Providing an example. There was this Sam Rockwell movie where he was the game show host taking people, he's working for the CIA.
Oh, yeah.
That movie?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Yeah.
And I don't remember how far into the movie this was, but they're basically, the TV censors are having issues with people. And
I know
Sam Rockwell's character asks, like, his buddy, his trainer?
His CIA trainer.
He's like, hey, man, can you do me a favor and scare these people into
like
not...
a TV censor guy.
Yes, act like a TV censor guy and tell these people to stop their shit,
Right.
He basically calls in a favor.
Right.
And that dude fucking lays into these people doing these exaggerated psychotic facial tics. Not stupid exaggerated, but enough to where legit. It's longer than 2 seconds.
I've everything he did. And you'd have to see a bunch of it to know what he was doing. Almost.
Exactly.
Yes. They weren't. For the majority of people,
sure.
Yes, they were exaggerated. But there is a percentage of people where I have seen those types of, and they're unconscious. They've reached the point where they can't control them.
Yeah, these psychotic facial tics.
Yes.
Be they subtle, be they exaggerated.
It's very sad.
Yeah, but they're there.
Yes, they're there.
Mads does that.
That's cool.
He has these very, very quick, subtle facial tics.
Right.
Where if you, pointing at you, you know what you're looking for. You see it, and you go, oh, shit. Oh, yeah.
They're out there.
Yeah, they're out there. And that's what I think you would appreciate more, because it's very subtle. Like, no more than a second or two.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, something just pops out. It's like someone says something, and then he, very slowly, but something on his face will be like, ting, and then it goes right back to normal, like nothing happened.
Right. But no one sees it.
No one catches it.
No character in the show.
This is another reason why I think Jack should have been fired, because any crime behavioral expert,
right? When
you see a facial tic like that,
well, that doesn't. Well, that I don't know. It doesn't necessarily mean that someone's out of control.
But it does mean you need to look at them more closely.
It definitely means you need to look at them more closely.
Yeah, that pissed me off. Where you basically have these FBI agents and these other psychiatrists, and Will, who is just whatever the fuck Will.
Well,
is.
that's a.
You have all these guys in the same room, and then Lecter says something, and if something in his body language or something in his face just clicks a certain way, and none of them bats an eye.
Yeah, I definitely don't think people that are involved in that type of work are used to dealing with liars.
Then why didn't they know he was a liar?
Well, it's just for dramatic effect.
I know. I'm just angry because I'm just like logically this guy couldn't get anywhere near an FBI agent or CIA agent without someone going, "What the fuck was that?"
To the casual listener, that may sound cliche, but I assure you it isn't.
No.
There are people that have had. I don't know what generates them. But I have seen it up front and center more than once.
Do you think it has to do with the coping mechanism?
I think that people are pushed past a breaking point mentally, and I think there's
repercussions to it.
A synaptic gap in the brain that's broken. So there's a bridge that's been burnt that they can't rebuild. And that's all I can tell you.
That's fair.
And that's tough.
Yeah,
tough,
no, I get it.
Because I've seen people. About the worst one I ever saw was a nurse supervisor at a hospital I was working in Oakland.
Yeah.
And I mean, her tick was so bad that her head would literally jerk.
Uh-huh.
I don't mean just like a blink or a real long
like it would
blink.
Snap.
She would just snap.
Yeah.
And her whole face would just carve up like that.
Yeah.
And
just kind of like shrink.
And you're just having imagine having a conversation with somebody. You know, the other day we were going to enter because
and then all of a sudden her neck just like
yeah. It does that, man. It is unsettling.
Did you ever like
bring it up to her head?
No. Well, I mean, yeah.
I mean, she was an okay person. I don't know. I mean, I don't know where that came from.
No, I mean, like, did you ever ask her, "Hey, you okay? You want some juice?"
As a peer?
Yeah. Like, did you ever go to her like, "Hey, Miss Nurse Supervisor, you want some juice?"
That wasn't the first time I'd ever seen it.
Okay.
So I knew of its existence. I had a frame of reference.
Sure.
So when I saw it, that just happens to be the worst one I
saw. Okay.
And I felt genuinely sorry for the individual because it was something that was completely out of their control. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you imagine trying to be functional and interact with people on a daily basis, and then all of a sudden have that kick off every couple of seconds? I mean, that's
I do actually.
That's brutal.
I do actually, except my situation is a little bit different. There's a coworker of mine, and he's very chill. He is like the one person now in the business I work in. There's like the 2 buildings. There's the field technicians, and then there's like the call center where they tell me what to ship to wherever. He's like one of the 2 people in the call center that I don't hate because they know how to do their job. And he has really bad Tourette's.
Uh-huh.
Like not the one where he just constantly curses, the one where like the physical tics, like hitting himself in the chest, blinking his eyes, turning his head a certain way.
Right.
And it's constant. Like, it does not stop.
Yeah.
Like, at all.
I know what you're talking about.
And, now, granted, Tourette's is completely different. Tourette's is completely different from a psychotic facial tic.
Yes.
You know? But that's my experience. He's the worst I've ever encountered with Tourette's. He's not the worst I've ever encountered with, there was a guy I knew in high school who had a really bad stutter. But he was the most gifted Photoshop artist I had ever encountered. And I hope he is, like, working for Vogue right now.
Sure.
Because he would make a killing. But, no, I get it. I ignore it because it's like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to ask him.
Right.
You know, I'll joke with him about it. I was like, you know, I'm just pulling, you know, just pushing a pallet with the pallet jack somewhere. And I tell him, you know, hey, stay still, you know, I don't want to run you over. And he's like, are you telling a Tourette's person to be still? And I say, yes, the same way I tell my dumbass coworker to stop being a dumbass.
Yeah. You treat him.
Yeah.
So, the same.
I treat him like a human being.
You treat him like a human being.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, no, there is a difference between the Tourette's and the facial tics, but that's one thing I would tell you if you're going to start getting into Hannibal is the first 5 to 6 episodes, you just either have to fast forward through it, like to the interesting parts,
right, or
just freaking just go, you know?
Yeah.
Or you just bum rush it.
Oh, if I start it, I'll get through the first season at least.
The first season, it ends really well.
Because I like that guy.
Yeah. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
His opposite, Will, he's fantastic too. Like, just absolutely the best portrayal of someone who is crazy but trying not to be crazy.
That's cool.
I appreciate that. And once again, seasons 2 and 3 is when they lock the writers in a closet. They tell them, okay, here's $2 and 5 grams of cocaine. Now let's make the coolest TV show ever.
Woo! Snowblind.
Yeah, they get really fucking snowblind. But, so that's what I would tell you. I'm going to hold you to this.
Oh?
If you have any questions, I will answer them.
Don't pester me.
I'm going to pester you. Because you brought it up. You opened Pandora's box, and now I'm going to hold you to it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And plus, you keep searching for stuff to watch on like streaming services late at night anyway.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God, do not watch it with the matriarch. Please don't do that.
I'm not going to start it with her, definitely.
Please, for the love of God, don't do that.
No, I won't.
Alright, I have to pee. So, I'm going to end it.
Well.
That's not TMI. We already talked about some lady getting forked. And ski shooting.
Ski shooting.
Yeah. We broached
your
that.
Lady who, your lady.
Shut the fuck up. All right.
I hope we hurry up because my lederhosen is right up in my Bundesliga.
As long as it doesn't hurt your glue box, you should be fine.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Well, that's it, folks. I was your host, Bel-E.
I was your co-host, Mr. Scratch.
And we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Bye.
Goodbye.